Bienvenidos a BNS, un blog sobre cine. Esta semana, hablamos de Santo y la lucha libre professional mexicana. Anyways, welcome to the show. This week on BNS Spot Movies, we're going to discuss Santo and Mexican pro wrestling, or lucha libre. Up first, one of many movies about Santo. Santo versus the Vampire Women from 1962, known as Samson.
Samson and the Vampire Women. Deep in the bowels of the earth live the most savage and vicious of all women. They capture, they drain the blood from human beings to make themselves beautiful in Samson and the Vampire Women.
These two blue marks close together on the victim's neck are what have me puzzled, Inspector. Besides that, we didn't find one drop of blood in the corpse. Why, you could swear that a vampire murdered the girl.
Hey, now that I think about it, I'll bet those monsters were vampires, Doc.
See mighty Samson set fire to the vampire's cave in Samson and the Vampire Women.
Versus Vampire Women in the U.S., this is one of 4 Santo films dubbed in English and released north of the border by Kate Gordon Murray. Mostly played children-friendly weekend matinees or late-night TV, thanks to his American International TV deal. A coven of vampire women awaken in their crypt after 2 decades of sleep. The leader, Queen Zarina, just wants to go back to hell with her husband, Lucifer. If you can't guess that I love this movie. To get there, Tundra makes a vow to take the granddaughter of a woman who's escaped her evil grip. The only person that can save this girl is Santo, of course, as his grandfather once saved the day all those years ago. To get there, he's going to have to fight a werewolf and all the vampire women who said they need to see Santo's face. Guess what? Kayfabe, everybody. Guess what? Kayfabe, everybody. No one's seeing f***ing Santo's face. The sun comes up. They all explode into flames. Santo just jumps in his convertible and drives away. He's satisfied with his killing rage against monsters being sated for one more day and one more night. Santo y la venganza de la mumia. Santo. What monsters haven't you faced? Only in the Santo movie can you find a masked wrestler go from a match in Arena, Mexico to being part of Professor Romero's journey to explore some ancient ruins. Imagine you're a famous scientist and you say, my mummy expedition needs a chef, a doddering professor, a manly hunter, my grandson Aguapito. That's El Santo, El Hijo de Santo, without his mask. For comic relief, 2 attractive women and, oh yeah, let's bring a masked pro wrestler. The professor is looking for the body of Nonocana, an Apache prince who had a forbidden affair with the intended sacrifice Luna, making her impure before she's killed for the gods. Hot Latin blood, as Jesse Ventura would say. Both are killed and mummified, and the universal monster gods are pleased, late morons. The archaeological party ignores the curse and takes the necklace off them. Don't touch the jewelry on the mummy. Let me point at the sign and say it, right? And this soon becomes a slasher. From the back of the dead Nunoka, he can shoot arrows out of his back, but Santo also gets to fight a panther, and not Blue Panther, a legit panther. Within this movie, someone says that fear is a bitch, and Santo tells the grieving Agapito that men don't cry, neither do boys. Anyway, he also dresses in a safari outfit when it's blazing hot out, never takes off his mask and wears a belt over a safari shirt. I would honestly kill a human being if Santo asked me to do it. So when we go to trial, well, Santo's dead, so only Santo. El Hijo de Santo, maybe not, right? But if Santo was alive and he said, Sam, I want you to kill this person for me. If Santo said, Sam, quiero que mates esta persona por mí, I'd say, sí, Santo. Without question, Santo. Anyways, Santo's battle against the mummified form of Nanoka was his 31st movie, directed by the ever-dependable Rene Cardona Sr., who made perhaps my favorite Santo movie, Santo and a Treasure of Dracula. So I was halfway through it. I was like, should I say it in Spanish or English? Santo y el Tesoro de Dracula. There's a twist ending. I'm fine with it. Sometimes the supernatural exists in Santa's world. Sometimes it doesn't. No matter what, Santo gets back to Arena, Mexico, just in time to tap out rudos like Golia de Lea with his La Dia de Caballo. Interesting note, Santo's Pag Martyr in the opening match against Corey Casanova, who lost his hair twice to Santo, and Dick Angelo, who lost his mask to Santo, is El Ribalde, and he did many of Santo's stunts in his 17 films. He would go on to lose his mask to Ultraman and achieve even greater fame under his second gimmick, Charles Bronson Mexicano, because you can guess it, he looked just like Charles Bronson.
guy at the store said this wine is very good.
Great, I'll open it. I made chicken. I hope you like it. It's the only thing I know how to make.
Chicken's good. I like chicken.
Why did he not get a movie? Anyways, 2 more Santo movies, right? For the kids. Santo versus La Hija de Frankenstein, 1972. You're the daughter of Frankenstein. And I think we know by now how much I love Lady Frankenstein movies. Senorita Frankenstein Bambita, La Isla Bonita. If you're the daughter of Frankenstein, you need to see her. If you're the daughter of Frankenstein, all right, let's get it together.
Hola, oyentes de BS About Movies. Soy Caroline de Fonseca, vuestra reina italiana del doblaje, un ángel caído del paraíso. In this episode, pay close attention. Sam is out of his mind on something, so he may have a case of the giggles.
If you're the daughter of Frankenstein, you need a serum to make you eternally young. There's only one guy whose blood you should use, and that's Santo. That's it? That's all we need to know? Okay, cool. To make things even more awesome, Dr. Frieda Frankenstein has several monsters in her employ, including the half-human, half-ape Truxon, a very universal monsters-looking version of her father's creation that she's named Ursus. They're both played by Gerardo Zepeda, also in El Topo, Night of the Bloody Apes, and the best Lucha movie, Santo and Blue Demon Against the Monsters. We'll get to it, in which he played Ciclope and a zombie. He's in a ton of movies. She also kidnapped Santo's girlfriend Norma and hypnotized her into cutting out his eyes with a knife because life is cheap in Mexico. Our heroes are already turned down. Frieda Frankenstein's advances have a weakness for the female side. The Frankenstein family tree, as we said before, witness Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter and the aforementioned Lady Frankenstein. And this film has all that, plus Lucha Libre. It ends with Santo fighting Japanese wrestler Yamaguchi for the title. After this, Santo would fight Dracula, a wolfman. And Dr. Frankenstein himself, Gino Romano, played Freda, also in La Venganza de los Mujeres Vampiro as the dreaded Countess Mayra. Santo and Blue Demon Against the Monsters, 1970. Let's get into Lucha Libre, right? Lucha Libre is to American pro wrestling is a movie like Alucarda is to an American possession film.
Alucarda! A car!
They're in the same category, but they've gone off in their own strange world where reality, the things we know, believe, and see and do every day, no longer exist. Lucha takes the Catholic morality of Mexico to the extreme, with Los Technicos, the good guys, battle valiantly against Los Rudos, the bad guys in matches that are often about technical skill versus brute force. There's also the idea of putting your manhood on the line as their chop and strike battles to prove who is more macho. There are also the outfits and the masks and the characters, with each person exemplifying a different heroic and villainous ideal. When the feud reaches its conclusion, unlike in America, it often could cost its combatant the most important thing, their face, which is their mask, or their manhood is seen by their hair. La Mascara versus La Cabela. An apuesta match is hair versus hair. There's never been a luchador, and this is hypey but true, like El Santo. He began as a rudo, but once he achieved his fame, he became the kind of celebrity that people in the U.S. like The Rock and Hulk Hogan couldn't only dream of. Santo isn't just a big-time pro wrestler. He's a cultural icon at the level of Elvis Presley. While wrestling, he started 52 movies between 1958 and 1982, along with winning 38 matches where he put his famous silver mask up against the hair and massive opponents like Perro Aguayo, Espanto 1 and 2, Black Shadow, Bobby Benales, La Mumia, and so many more. The first Santo comic book was released in 1952, and after years of resisting appearing in movies, The Ring, his first true love, Santo made his first 2 films, El Cerebro del Mar and The Evil Brain, and Hombres Infernales, The Infernal Men, in 1958, made in Cuba, they had to sneak out of the country. And by 1961, it took a couple of years to get that Santo formula right. But by then, he was as big of a movie star as a wrestler. And just like when wrestling got onto cable, or played TV even in places, they're like, this is going to overexpose wrestling. It did not. Santo never known to remove his mask, even in private. While traveling, he made sure to take a different flight from film crew so they would never see his face when he went through customs. The only time Santo ever took off his hood in public was a week before he died of a heart attack in action, thought to by many to him realizing death was near, and he wanted to say goodbye. Lucha Libre is a big deal to me. It means more to me than pro wrestling because it is different than pro wrestling. It's a passion play in the midst of a squared circle that still draws a huge crowd. I mean, Arena Mexico just had its best year ever. Santo and Blue Demon against the Monsters is magic. Our Silver Mask Hero and his sidekick Blue Demon don't just battle one monster, they battle every single monster there is, one after the other, for 90 mind-destroying minutes, leading the mob El Vampiro, not Ian from Canada, Canadian vampire, or Vampiro Canadese, or Vampiro as he's known today. No, a Vampiro is a vampire with the temerity to challenge Santo to a mask versus mask match in the middle of the holiest of all holy pro wrestling places, Arena Mexico, and the ruder nature to allow his army of monsters to invade before he loses. There's also El Hombre Lobo, a werewolf with just a hairy dude with fangs, La Mumia, a skinny old man who looks like he could fold with one chop from Santo. There's Frank Quidstein, Franquestain, who we can only assume is Frankenstein's monster with the Van Dyke. Mayhair Vampiro proves that ladies can be just as deadly as the male. Ciclope takes over for the creature from the Black Lagoon and looks like beast straight out of Plaza Sésamo, or Sesame Street, as they say in America. Santo literally beats a dude with an ugly stick for 20 or more unanswered shots in a row. I yelled with madness and glee. There's a mad scientist named Bruto Halda. Cool. What would you call his sidekick? Waldo? Yep, that's his name, who struggled to keep these monsters in one piece. I forgot there's also an evil clone of Blue Demon. This world of monsters in this movie, the most magical. I mean, I'm looking at a picture of Lumumia now. He makes John Carradine look like he's on steroids. This is some kind of movie that's perfect for kids. I mean, think 60s Batman mixed with James Bond, except there's a scene where Wolfman rips apart a kid's parents in front of him. Then he does the same to the kids. In Mexican Lucha Libre film, rules don't exist. Life is cheap. And I even got to the scene where Frankenstein stomps out a child's head. It's like American History X, but with a lucha monster. At the end of the movie, a Santo and Blue Demon armed with torches and their bare fists, wearing tight turtlenecks. A look, right? A choice and a look. Murder nearly every monster thanks to the power of the cross. Good old-fashioned violence. They don't need hammers to stake a vampire. You can do it with your bare hand as our heroes leave the vampire's castle, setting it on fire like they're a girl in a mid-2020 movie destroying the patriarchy. Leaving it ablaze after the stake vamps fade into nothing, credits roll. In our overly CGI digital universe, a movie like this is a cool drink of aqua de fresca for what ails you. The best part is it's just one of the many times Santo would go to war with the forces of evil. You can watch him battle zombies, the king of crime, satanic power, Martians, mafia killers, the Bermuda Triangle karate experts, and more. Viva El Santo. Anywho, our last movie, Santo and Blue Demon against Dr. Frankenstein. Yes, we fought Dr. Frankenstein's daughter first, and now we're going to fight Frankenstein. Cool story. Miguel M. Delgado's acting career went from 1941 to 1990. Along the way, he made 140 movies, including Three Musketeers, Mr. Photographer, and 3 Santo and Blue Demon films. To put the men in the silver and blue masks up against Frankenstein's daughter, which we just talked about, the Wolfman and Dracula, here in the final of his 3 Santo movies. He has unleashed Dr. Frankenstein's grandson, 113-year-old Dr. Frankenstein, Jorge Rusk from the Wild Bunch, trying to bring his dead wife back to life, who he keeps in a glass case like he's Dr. Fives, and doesn't matter how many young women have to pay, eyes without a face. What brings Santo and Blue Demon on the case is they go after the friend Alicia Ruble, Sessa Montenegro, an Italian-born actress also in Santo and Anonymous Death Threat, The Man and the Beast. In Santo versus Black Magic Woman, Frankenstein has an army of zombies that either fight and mask or take Lucha Libre matches against our opponents, who are always the best at these movies. For me, one of these monsters named Golem, good enough name. But then they give him a mask and he wrestles as Mortis. He gets a match against Santo and nearly kills him. Irving is his manager and also has on a mask. Till Blue Demon spots a zombie in the crowd and figures out what's happening. They chase Irving and Golem right into the rafters high above the arena, where, of course, they fall to their deaths. I've said it before. I will say it again. There's nothing better in a Lucha Libre movie. Santo's a perfect foil because it's all matter of genre, adversaries' themes. If you're not a fan of wrestling, it does not matter. I urge you, please, my friend, please watch a Santo movie. Anyway, thanks for listening to me go on and on about Lucha Libre. If you'd like to talk about any kind of films, not just wrestling films, give me a shout. bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. Hear that microphone noise? bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com.